Hi, I'm Chris Hansen, True Blue Crime Streaming Network. I'm going to need you to have a seat right over there and watch my interview with Ayman.
Well, are you a boxing fan? What were your initial kind of memories of boxing and fights you've seen in the past?
When I was a young reporter in Detroit, we would go to the boxing matches. The Kronk Gym, which you may be familiar with, was a big presence in boxing and still is, and especially in Detroit. So Tommy Hearns came out of there and some other very prominent boxers. So often on a Friday or Saturday night, we would go down to Joe Louis Arena and watch the boxing matches and black tie event for charity, and was fascinated by it all. So over the years, I've kept an eye on boxing, and when this opportunity arose, we jumped on it because we thought it'd be great to be here and watch this potentially very historic match.
Are you active yourself? Do you put the gloves on at all?
I do, but only in a training mode for a man of a certain age. I don't profess to be any better than a Detroit area street fighter as a kid. But yeah, it's a great workout. But I'll put the gloves on once in a while.
A lot of great fighters coming out from that area. Now, jumping into last night's surprise at the press conference, so you were brought out by Logan Paul's team to catch Dillon Danis. How did that link up come about?
Well, Logan had reached out to me on social media and said, hey, I've got this wild idea that I think would be a great promotion for me, for the fight, and for my network, True Blue, which is a streaming crime network where we do our new Predator shows, the Takedown series, and we thought about it for a second, thought, well, how much fun would that be? There's two parts to what I do. There's the editorial side, the serious side, and then there's the promotional side. And yes, this is a little bit outside the box for me, but all of these things bring attention to a very serious subject, which is the Predator investigations. And so anytime I can bring attention to what we do in our investigations, I try to take that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Have you followed Logan Paul's career, like in the social media sphere, headed into WWE and now boxing as well?
Yeah, I think that what he's done and what his brother has done is really, they've created a social media empire. And whether you love him or hate him, and obviously they're passionate people on both sides, especially with this fight, as I've seen on social media since my appearance yesterday, they've done a great job. They've figured it out. And I think there's a lesson for everybody in boxing and people who make their living on social media to learn from what the Pauls have done.
Have you got a prediction for both fights? First of all, Logan Paul, Dillon Danis, and then KSI Fury?
I'm going to have to go with Logan Paul on this fight. I think he's very fit. I think he's very focused. I've seen a little bit of his training regimen. I happen to train in New York at a place where one of the trainers is actually a jiu-jitsu fighter who knows Dillon, and who says Dillon is an excellent jiu-jitsu fighter, but in a boxing match, I think it's Logan Paul.
And in terms of KSI versus Tommy Fury as well?
I think that's going to be an interesting fight. I think KSI is a great fighter, but Tommy Fury is Tommy Fury, and so I'll be watching right there with great interest to see how it goes.
There's an interesting tidbit in the sense that you and Dillon are sharing a hotel. Any friction? Have you crossed paths just yet?
Yeah, he crossed by, and he didn't say anything. Look, during the news conference, obviously he was surprised. He thought it might have been an actor posing as Chris Hansen, but I think he got the bit. I think he was pretty good-natured about it. I think some of the fans get furious, when anybody would surprise or take on their guy. And I understand that passions run deep in boxing, but I think Dillon, in spite of the bravado and the talk and the way the news conference ended, I think he understood the bit.